Do you ever feel like your brain just never shuts off? Like ideas are flowing in, you're always stressed, you're overthinking, you're comparing yourself, all this pressure to create. As creators, we carry so much in our heads. And honestly, I didn't realize how bad I needed an outlet for it until recently. For me, that became journaling. Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. If you're new here, my name is Shellda and I'm an award-winning photographer, podcast host, and creator based in Austin, Texas. And lately, I've been trying to become more intentional about protecting my mind while creating online. And wildly enough, something as simple as writing in a journal has helped me more than I ever expected. Recently, I sat down and interviewed GareTheBear on my podcast, which will be dropping next week in next week's episode. So I thought it was perfect timing to create this. And for those that don't know, Garrett has a YouTube channel about pocket notebooks, and they've truly changed his life. And after our conversation, I did some reflecting in my bigger journal, and I realized journaling does the same thing for me, and I want to talk about that today. So let's start off by talking about one of the hardest parts about being a creator. And honestly, it's that your brain never really stops. Even when you're resting or trying to go to sleep at night, or maybe you're just relaxing on the couch, your brain's always thinking. It's always doing something. Maybe it's about video ideas, maybe it's what your analytics are, maybe it's what future videos that you could be making. And I even find myself always asking myself questions like, am I growing fast enough? Am I doing enough? And eventually all that noise builds up, and then I end up talking myself out of creating. It's the craziest thing. I started realizing I had thoughts and feelings that I just wasn't really processing. I was honestly just carrying them. And now I know some people might hear the word feelings and think that's lame or stupid, and I get that. I was like that for a really long time too. But in the past 4 years, my life kind of flipped upside down. My mom was diagnosed with cancer unexpectedly, and then a few years later passed away. Again, it went really fast. And my grandpa's health started to decline shortly after, and he recently passed away too. And what makes this even more complicated is I was actually born on my grandpa's birthday, and a few weeks ago, I just celebrated my first birthday in 39 years without my grandpa.
And I am so honored to share your birthday with you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here to share it.
So yeah, thank you for letting me share your birthday with you.
Thank you for sharing yours with me.
I love you.
Love you, bud.
And so I've realized all of these things that have been happening over the past few years, I've just been really burying them and not doing anything about it. That is until I found journaling and it started to change my life. And 3 years ago, I started this journal right here, the day after my mom passed away. And I'll read you the first few lines. I don't know where to start, just that I need to start journaling. Why the need? That's an easy one. That's an easy one this time around. I never imagined I'd be writing the following words at the age of 36, but here it goes. My mom passed away. She passed away yesterday. And so that right there is what kicked off, just tons and tons and pages of just journaling to help my mind. And recently, what I've really started to do is I've enjoyed starting my day by coming down into my studio, after I take the dog out in the morning and make my coffee, and I just journal for a while. It's really nice to be in a space that I love, that I've really put my own flair on, and it sort of creates like a safety net in a way of like a safe space that I want to be in, where I can just let my thoughts out and just kind of start to process everything. And one of the things that I love to do when I first get in here is I open up the blinds to let just a little bit of natural sunlight into the studio before I crank up all of these lights for the rest of the day. And I also intentionally put a chair in here that was not my regular computer chair, something that I could come down, be a little more comfortable in, a little more relaxed, and something I know I'm not going to spend the next 8 hours in. And so it sort of created this like journaling spot in a way, and it started to turn into a routine of how I've been starting my days recently, and I really enjoy it. I'm starting to crave it. And so after journaling on and off for the last few years, the biggest thing that journaling has gave me has been clarity, because what I've realized is those thoughts feel massive in my head. And they come and go, but they never really get untangled. It's kind of like just a big ball of wires in a way. You never really untangle it. But once you start to write them down, sometimes you realize, oh, maybe this isn't as heavy as I thought it was. It makes those thoughts real, and it really makes them tangible in a way. Like it almost feels like you're able to hold those thoughts and do something with them in your hand. I mean, technically you are, because you're holding them in a journal. Since I began journaling, I've written pages about fear, comparison, imposter syndrome, about feeling behind, and even about wondering if I'm making the right decisions creatively. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm actually feeling until I write it. And so it's wild how much starts to come out of this pen just by simply writing. And now I get it. I'm sure there's some of you that are saying, yeah, that's great for you, but what do you write about? Like, how do you do it? How do you start writing? What style do you write in? Is it bullet? Is it list? Paragraphs? First person? Third person? There's so many different styles. And I caught myself early on. I was on YouTube trying to find out how to write, what different styles were, what style works for me. And then I realized that the most important thing to do, it's just to start. And by starting, after a few days, maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it even takes a few months, but doing it consistently is the most important thing. And then at some point, it'll start to feel natural. And that's when you'll start to adopt your own style. And if I'm being honest, as a creator, some of my best content ideas don't actually come from scrolling or even using AI to give me ideas. They come from journaling. Now, don't get me wrong, I still pull ideas from other creators and still use AI to help generate ideas or even refine some of my ideas. But I've learned that if I start to do that all the time, it's starting to like eat away at my creativity, because journaling forces you to sit with your own thoughts long enough that you actually kind of start to hear yourself. It's like this wild thing that you really can only experience. It's hard to explain it. And I think that's important as creators. When our content ideas come from our thoughts and not AI, we feel more connected to them. And you can honestly hear that in a creator's voice. It's almost like you can see a creator on Instagram or YouTube and instantly know, oh, that was pulled from a script from AI, or they didn't really feel this, or vice versa. Like, wow, you can really tell this creator feels connected to this content. So I've learned the more that I lean into my journal and lean into my thoughts, the more I am stepping into my voice. Because if we constantly consume other people's voices and then that becomes, like the voice of AI, then we eventually start to lose our own. And I think a lot of creators spend time trying to build content without realizing they also need to protect themselves mentally while doing it. And journaling has become that place for me. The cool thing about it, where it's really different from creating, but it also helps creatives, it's never a performance. Like, I don't feel any pressure to write in this thing. There's obviously no views, there's no feedback from it. It's just really, honestly, it's honest. If there's anything that I want you to take away from this, it's this point one more time. So many people think that you have to have a writing style, write a certain way, or think, what should I write about? And I'm here to tell you exactly what I tell any creator about content creating. You don't need to be a perfect writer. You don't need some type of deep system. You just have to start. And when you start, over time, you'll start to find your style and what works for you. And at some point, when you've been writing for a while, you'll realize the most important conversations that you'll actually ever have in your life are the ones that you're having with yourself. Thanks for dropping by the studio. I hope this video has helped, and I'll see you in the next one.